What's up, guys?
Shayne, it's been a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
About a year.
How you feeling? How's the knee?
Pretty good. Healthy. Ready to go.
Surprise yourself at all in the All-Star match and coming out of the gate that explosive and that good after that long delay?
I think the most surprising thing to me was how much fun I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was wasn't sure what the match was going to be like. I tried not to think about that too much. Bo Nickel had shared something about that, saying that like when he tries to think about the way that a fight is going to go, it usually doesn't go that way, and then you got to scramble to put together. So just kind of being in the moment and letting whatever was going to happen, and accepting it, and then just wrestling through it.
Did you used to do that? Like think ahead, like this is where I'm like almost think it through, not every move, but think of positions and maybe it clouded your mind?
Yeah, I definitely. I don't like to watch film anymore. I spend too much time trying to think about what could happen or what he might do, and really just the focus is to go out there and do what I know how to do, and that's how I wrestle my best.
You had injuries before, right? So, first you have to overcome them mentally and physically, but how difficult was it for you on both aspects?
So I think I was really smart, like having my shoulder done before and then now my knee. I've had a little bit of practice with this, and I found that I always come back stronger than before. I think that this one was more a physical thing, and it just took longer than any of my other recoveries. But I knew that I would be coming back better than ever.
Does that mental aspect, though, does it get to be compounding when you've gone through it more than once?
I don't think so. I think I look at it as training, right? I can't be in the room wrestling, but I can be training mentally, continuing to do things that are difficult for me. It might be as simple as walking a mile, and that might be the equivalent of doing a full wrestling practice for me at that time. And it's just always training, always getting better.
Do you feel like you're a different wrestler or a better version of yourself as you're kind of describing that you're working back through things, or have you had to adapt your game so that you're this version of yourself?
Yeah, so I think that this past year I did a lot of learning, trying to improve my game and put some new things into play. But I went back and watched some of my old film of myself to see what I was already good at and what I did really well. And I went right back to that, and now I have all these new tools that I've learned over the last year that just add to what I've already been doing.
We just talked to Luke, and he mentioned that he sometimes competes with you here in the room. What have you seen from him so far this season, and how have you felt about his presence on the team?
Luke's a really fun kid, a real joy to be around, and he is a very talented wrestler. I was really a little bit upset when he didn't get to have a match. I'm excited to see him compete, so this weekend will be fun. We'll both get to wear our Penn State wrestling singlets and compete in an official match for the first time, so I'm excited for that.
Do you think he's going to become a fan favorite the way he performs, the way he wrestles?
I would be surprised if he wasn't already.
Did you surprise yourself by your dominance on Saturday?
No, like I said, the most surprising thing was how much fun and how much I enjoyed it. I didn't realize how much I missed it. I knew I missed it a lot, but I just felt like that's what I do. The dominating, powerful style, like that's who I am. That's how I want to wrestle every time. So that was expected, but the amount of joy that it brought me was a little bit unexpected.
Can you talk more about that? I mean, I was watching it. I was feeling it with you.
Yeah, I just, it had been a long time, and I just wanted to be grateful for the experience. I took a moment to kind of take in the atmosphere again before it started, and then I couldn't help but just have this big grin on my face, knowing that I was about to go do what I love.
At what point, Shayne, in the offseason did you realize, okay, the knee is where it needs to be. I'm gonna be on track to start this season. Did you know that pretty? Because you had surgery back during the holidays around last year.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So I never really. I'm not sure when that time was, but I knew that I was okay with not wrestling until January, if that was the case. I was never in a rush to get back. It was always patient, and when I was ready, I was going to be ready, and that didn't matter if that was before the season started or a little bit into it. Whenever I was ready, that's when I was going to go compete.
How much were you in Carter's ear last year when he had his deal at the end of the season? I mean, I remember him talking a little bit like, hey, I've talked to Shayne, he's made me feel a little bit better. What was that like for you being hurt and then seeing one of your guys go down late like this?
Yeah, I mean, Carter's a really tough guy. I mean, as tough as they come. And I just know that there is more to the mental aspect, and I've been through that process a couple times, and so I was able to share some insights with him. But he was able to overcome the physical pain that he was in and still get the job done. but all the credit goes to him. That's a battle that only he could fight, and he did a pretty good job, I'd say.
Kind of on the other side of that, was there any specific coach or wrestler that helped you on the mental aspect of your recovery?
I think all my coaches just continuing to believe in me. Nick Lee, especially, him being added to the staff was huge for me. He's a great training partner. He was a friend of mine before he was my coach, and he really helped me to gain my confidence again and belief in myself.
How do you view goals at this point? Obviously, you mentioned kind of like setting your expectations for where you were when you were injured. What are your goals, or how do you view those now that you're back?
Yeah, so I have my short-term goals, which I don't really like to discuss. I will let those results speak for themselves when I accomplish them. But I have these infinite goals of teaching and learning. And a new one that I added this year is to become a gratitude monster. And so I just want to be absolutely the most grateful person that I can be for every experience that I get, because I know what it's like when those opportunities get taken away from you. And I don't want to be looking back wishing that I would have soaked in the moment a little bit more. So just being grateful, and then always trying to teach and learn and continue to grow, not just myself, but everyone around me.
Did you find a way to be grateful right in the middle of a whole year off?
I did. In the beginning, I was not. I was getting really frustrated with the process and how slow it was. And I think that going back to your question about goals is taking it short and focusing on one day at a time really helped me to get through the process. And when I stopped looking at the big picture, the days started to string together a lot faster. And I continue to do that now, just focusing on what my goals are today, going out there and achieving them, coming in every day and getting better.
Last one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, my memory could be foggy on this, but I remember you being a member of like a pin competition of what wrestler could get the most pins on the season. Now that you're back in full form, is that on the table again?
Oh yeah, definitely. I know me and Bo Bartlett are racing for that. Me and Greg talked about who's going to carry the most awards out at the banquet. So we're all going to be competing against the inner squad. And I think that's what makes it fun. I did that a lot in high school, and it's just another way to keep pushing each other.
All right. Hey, Shayne.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.